Good morning. During the 10 years between 2008 and 2018 makes it a decade. And I'm finding the actors and actresses who acted at the Old Town Playhouse in Traverse City, Michigan, and giving them a memory in a video for their family members, children, and especially to them. So they can look back standing on their theater stage. And this time is actress Sandra Erreca.
Yes, we care about one another very much. It helps when you're the only child and you're spoiled more than you ought to be. Well, there was nothing my daddy wouldn't do for me.
That must have been nice for you, but I don't mean to pry into your business.
No, it's perfectly all right. I'm an open book, and you'll learn that about me as we get to know one another. Nothing's a secret with me, and it just drives your daddy crazy. Especially when we're out dining and a young waiter who I've previously talked with asks me how my geraniums are blooming. Well, that always gets a rise out of your daddy, inflating his suspicions. Of course, I let him think the worst. For nothing gets a man more attentive to a woman's needs than good old jealousy.
My husband would have a fit if that was me. How was your coffee?
It's very good. Your daddy loves you very much.
I beg your pardon?
I said your daddy loves you very much.
Thank you. It's been 21 years since we've seen each other.
Oh, much too long to be separated from your babies.
Yes,
It must have been hard for you.
it was. But I learned to survive.
At an early age, I decided I wanted nothing to do with raising kids.
Why not?
I'm too selfish for children. One thing I realized is that a child's needs come first, but I wasn't willing to make the sacrifice.
Any regrets?
Only one. Never having run with the bulls.
The bulls?
Every July, people from around the world gather in Paplum, Spain to run with the bulls, where some poor souls are even trampled to death.
Oh my God.
I know it sounds strange, but the thought of those angry, sweaty bulls chasing me, it's very exhilarating.
It sounds horrifying.
Well, you think so? I think changing diapers with newly painted fingernails is horrifying. Don't get me wrong. I absolutely adore children. It's me they can't stand.
My husband and I have been trying for several years.
Well, maybe he needs to fix his crosshairs and take more target practice.
It's me.
Oh.
I'd be telling you such a morbid story.
No, please do. They're the most interesting.
We have considered adoption.
Well, I was just going to suggest that. Have you heard of the Edna Gladney Adoption Agency?
Oh yes, my doctor told us about her. I was enthused, but I still have my reservations.
You'd be surprised who's adopting these days. I heard Wallace Berry did. It's very fashionable in the Hollywood circles these days.
Well, a lot of questions still need to be answered before we can seriously consider adoption.
Well, like, will be a boy or a girl?
A girl.
I understand it's always best to start with a girl, less trouble.
Exactly. Rosie, can I get you a slice of pie?
I would love some.
It appears our men have vanished.
Well, I'm used to it. When I was 16, my mama gave me some advice. She said, Rosie, a long leash builds trust. Short ones just remind them they're not free.
More coffee.
Please.
Personally, I'd settle for a tight noose instead. Rosie? Oh, God. Rosie? Oh, no. No.
Here you are, darling.
Where were you?
To get you a tranquilizer, remember?
What took you so long? Didn't you hear me calling?
No, I went to the kitchen for a glass of water, then to the bathroom for your tranquilizer. Here I am. What were you calling me for?
Is this a new kind of game you're playing?
What are you talking about?
You've been gone longer than a few minutes.
Cynthia, calm down. Here, take this. It'll calm your nerves.
No,
You need to take
I
this.
don't want it.
Cynthia!
Why would you let her into our home and then run off?
Who?
Rosie!
Who's Rosie?
My father's fiancée. You should know. You opened the door for her.
I don't know what's going on, but I'm confident, Dr. Brown.
No,
I don't understand. What you're going through is beyond my control.
I don't want Dr. Brown coming here.
Promise me you'll take the tranquilizer?
Oh, I'm not promising anything.
Hello, I let myself in. Is the bar still open?
Mr. Wellwater, glad to see you, sir.
Likewise, Mr. Temple. Cynthia described you well in her letters.
All good things, of course.
Yes, though you're slightly short. My cab driver had a difficult time finding your house.
I've been told that on occasion. Here, let me take your coat and suitcase. You make yourself comfortable. I'll just be a moment. Cynthia's mother gave it to her.
You must be Sid's daughter, Cynthia. Well, I'm sorry for barging in like this, but a man I believe to be your husband opened the door saying I would find you in here. Forgive me for not introducing myself. I'm Rosalind Stephen, your father's fiancée.
Rosie?
I'm sorry, what did you call me?
Rosie, where did you go?
I apologize for laughing, but I haven't been called Rosie since boarding school.
Where's my father?
Good question. He gave me instructions to meet him here. We unfortunately traveled separately. He does have a nasty habit of losing himself.
Why are you speaking this way?
I'm sorry.
Your accent.
Excuse me?
You're speaking with an English accent.
Yes, I'm from Yorkshire, England. That should explain it.
But you have a southern accent.
I'm hopelessly confused. Perhaps you're mixing me up with...
No! Why are you acting this way?
Please forgive me, but I don't understand what's going on here.
Stop it!
Maybe we should find your father. He should be able to help with this misunderstanding.
What misunderstanding?
Mistaken identity.
You're saying I don't know you?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. I've never met you before, and you obviously have me confused for someone else.
You're Rosie. Your mother and father live in Lamar County South, the buggy capital, and you've always wanted to run with the bulls in Spain.
Please excuse me, I need to freshen up. Would you direct me to the ladies' room?
You're not going anywhere.
On second thought, we should sit and wait for your father to arrive. Yes, I think that would be best.
You said my father went to buy cigars.
Why in the world would I tell you that? He abhors any type of tobacco.
Who the hell do you think you are? coming into my home and deceiving me like this?
Without being argumentative, I haven't the slightest idea what you're talking about. You can continue to rant and rave till you're blue in the face for all I care. But I have nothing more to say to you.
Are you calling me a liar?
Yes! You're behaving as if you've lost your scruples. How dare you threaten me when I'm entirely innocent of all that you say? If you truly want to know, you're the most disoriented woman I've ever had the displeasure of meeting in my life.
Ladies, what appears to be the problem?
She's a filthy liar and I want her out of my house!
Cynthia, she's our guest and your father's fiancée. Surely there can be something worked out between us.
I want her out of here now!
Cynthia, let us go talk in private in our room. We don't want to... Our guest does not want to feel unwelcome, does she?
I am going for a walk. And when I return, I expect her to be gone. Do you hear me, Ty? I want her out of my house!
I'm terribly sorry. I don't know what Sydney shared with you, but Cynthia's going through a turbulent time. She really is a sweet person. Please forgive her.
I live in New York City. I've seen everything. Please don't worry about it.
Can I get you something to drink?
We haven't been formally introduced. I'm Rosit Margaret Stevens, and yes, I would love one.
Tyrone Temple.
But it's lovely in here. Who designed your interior?
Full credit goes to Cynthia's artistic flair. I merely signed the checks.
She has exquisite taste. It's a pity she's not feeling well.
Yes, it is. What can I get you?
How are you at Martini's?
I've never been hired as a bartender, but they're decent enough.
It's not rocket science, is it? 2 green olives and a twist. I trust my hair won't fall out.
Just the enamel of your teeth. So how do you spend your time in New York City?
Well, I work for the Floyd Benson Agency. After nearly 10 years. I once had the aspiration of becoming an actress, but a severe bout of stage fright killed me from that delusion. Now I assist other actors in their delusional pursuits. It's safer that way.
May I presume this is how you were introduced to Mr. Wellborn?
Yes.
And did you hit it off at first sight?
Truth is, I wanted to hit Sydney at first sight. He was terribly obnoxious and wouldn't take no for an answer.
Really?
And that's putting it politely. Even after our years together, fate we recall what drew me to him. He's an acquired taste, really, and must grow and be fully appreciated.
That's a rather harsh assessment, especially coming from his fiancée.
A promise to marry doesn't forfeit one's opinion, does it?
I guess not. But you must be proud of his acting accomplishments, though.
Oh, he's a marvelous actor. But most actors are one step from the loony house with the other foot firmly stuck in the bottle. Not to mention having a roving eye for every loose skirt that scampers by. Once they set foot off stage, their minds usually turn to mush.
Why marry then?
For one very simple reason, Mr. Temple. Actors are never bored.
Surely there's another reason.
No, I learned trading lastful normalcy was a recipe for utter depression. Give me a kook with a sense of humor instead of a drip in the pan any day.
Well, here's to all the jolly fruitcake actors in the world.
I'll drink to that.
Well, if it isn't King Lear in the flesh. How are you, my noble
Hello,
Sage?
my sweet Rosalind. I hope your trip was enjoyable.
You know how I hate traveling alone by plane.
You should have taken more time off and traveled with me.
Have you seen your daughter yet?
Which one?
Cynthia.
At the moment, I'm with Samantha in the garden.
You really should attend to Cynthia.
Why? Is there a problem?
Well, I don't want to jump to conclusions, but she became rather agitated when first meeting me. Mr. Temple will agree it was quite nasty. Won't you, Mr. Temple? It was rather nasty, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Nasty?
Yes, she became irrational, and I feared she might grow violent.
Really?
Truth is, she does suffer from delusional bouts.
Yes.
I briefly mentioned this to you in my last telegram.
I don't recall that. You described a deep depression and nothing more.
I'm confident I did. But there's no sense in our splitting hairs over it now.
Well, either way you boys toot your horn doesn't change the fact that the loony bird has flown the coop.
Rosie, will you please shut your mouth, darling? You're muddying the waters. I'm trying to make sense of this, so please be considerate, dear.
Do you know how much you sound like Humphrey Bogart when you talk to me this way?
I don't care if I sound like Ethel Barrymore. Muzzle your mouth.
I don't mean to intrude, but is this any way to speak to your fiancée?
Excuse me, were we speaking to you?
No, but this is my house, and I find it deeply offensive the way you're speaking.
And I'd appreciate if you wouldn't interrupt our discussion.
I'm only trying to help.
Amelia Earhart was only trying to fly around the world. Where did that lead her?
What does Amelia Earhart have to do with this?
Everything, and I don't need any help from the bum's bleachers when conversing with my fiancée.
Well, that was rather tacky, Sid.
Yes, it was, wasn't it? Where is she?
She didn't say. She ran out, and that was that.
We'll just have to wait for her to surface then. I'll return to my confessional in the garden unless you have something more to offer, Mr. Temple.
No, you summarized it nicely.
I'll leave you to your martinis then.
Sydney, why did you come back in here just now?
Oh, thank you for reminding me. More whiskey, please? It helps my memory. Thank you.
Sydney, I love you.
I love you too, darling.
Oh.
Now, there's a side one I'm not sure I like.
He's an original, but nevertheless a keeper.
How's your martini?
Quite good. You have a hidden talent you can fall back on. What is it you do for a living?
I'm a business attorney. Nothing as you're accustomed to in New York, but I have a deep passion just for the law, just the same.
Well, don't belittle yourself. Many lawyers in New York are nothing more than mouthpieces for the mob, with one hand in their hip pocket and the other in ours.
Thank you for the vote of confidence.
I don't mean to be insensitive about your wife.
I know.
The poor dear must be heart-stricken. Do you mind telling me what her prognosis is?
Her doctor, Dr. Brown, says she'll gain full emotional capacity within 3 to 6 months. But he is concerned about her recent delusional behavior.
Has she a history of this?
No, Cynthia's always been calming and refreshing and manageable. But I must admit, there are times I wonder if she's the same woman I married 7 years ago.
Must be difficult.
Yes, it is. May I freshen up your martini?
Please do.
Do you find it difficult living with Sydney?
Well, I hardly knew you well enough to answer a question like that.
Both mature adults, I didn't think you'd mind.
What gives you the notion I'm mature?
By the way you carry yourself.
And how do I carry myself, Mr. Temple?
I'd say in any direction you wish.
Do you speak to your clients this way?
It'd depend on the case, wouldn't it?
You're not peeking in my closet, are you, Mr. Temple?
Never.
Am I interrupting?
Sydney!
I'm flattered you remembered my name.
Finish in the garden?
There's more weeding to be done, but we decided to put it off for later.
More whiskey, Mr. Wellborn?
I really shouldn't, but it's so painful to refuse.
Are you Rosalind?
Yes, I am.
I'm Samantha. Welcome to Coeur d'Alene.
Thank you. Your father's told me how cute you were as a child.
So I've heard. Have you met my brother Paul yet?
No, I haven't.
Then he hasn't arrived yet. I apologize for him. It's one of his many shortcomings, I'm afraid.
The evening is still young. He may prove us yet.
Have you met Cynthia?
Oh, yes.
She's not feeling very well.
I know.
Samantha, where do you suppose your brother's keeping himself?
Milroy's pub, his home away from home.
Already a taste for liquor, eh?
That in political debates with the boys at the bar.
Already a budding politician in the family.
Yes, and who often turns heated debates into bloody scuffles.
Broken nose and 2 chipped teeth is mementos to prove it.
Well, he must be hot-headed then. It must run in the family.
Well, Mother was always so calm. Paul definitely didn't get his temperament from her.
He was born with a chip on the shoulder, if you ask me.
Were you there when he was born?
No, of course not. Paul's always been deeply moody and prone to overreact at the slightest drop of a hat.
You don't like him very much, do you?
I didn't say that. It's only my observation over the years. I've been like a
Father figure?
Yes, like a father.
No fault in that, is there?
I believe not.
Under the surrounding circumstances, I'm not in any position to complain, am I?
I wouldn't know. Are you?
Am I what?
Complaining.
Do I appear to be complaining, Mr. Temple?
I sense a hostility in you? Yes.
What if I said that I was rather amused instead?
Then I'd say you're being less than truthful.
Are you calling me a
Mr.
liar?
Wellborn, I believe we're becoming dangerously sidetracked on issues better left unsaid.
And I don't share your opinion, Mr. Temple. No sense wasting valuable time doing a meaningless soft shoe. Why don't you say what you really feel about me? It's so pathetic when a man hides behind a false integrity. It's a cowardly act, really. It's the measure of a man who is incomplete and has no backbone to step to the forefront of situations, to show himself to be true and not merely an illusion. Is that you, Mr. Temple? Are you an illusion?
Sydney, you should wait.
It's
another
wonderful time, Rosie. What's this better time than now?
What do you expect to accomplish by insulting me?
When I was a kid growing up in the streets of Brooklyn, I had to rely on my intuition to see me through some rough times. After getting my nose broke a few times, I began to realize things aren't what they appear to be. Smoke and mirrors, the old shell game. Now you see it, now you don't. Then you're smacked up alongside the head by a roundhouse left, and as you're shaking the birds from your belfry, you're trying to find what the hell it is that happened. I've seen you before. Smooth talkers that glide you across the floor, then drop you in the Hudson River before the band stops playing. Are you curious what my intuition is telling me?
Not really, but I'm sure you'll push it on me.
Cynthia's not the crazy lark you've made her out to be.
That's absurd!
Is it?
Sydney, please don't go there.
No, let him go there. Let him make a complete fool of himself. He doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. It's complete nonsense for him to believe an actor is more fully qualified to diagnose it than her own doctor. Why did you choose to come here, Mr. Wellborn? Was it because your conscience was plaguing you all these years? If you truly cared for them, you would have disappeared completely from their life. I know your being here isn't only a feeble attempt to redeem yourself. But you lost yourself the day you stepped from their life, and no one is about to throw you a safety line. You've been treading these waters all these years, and as far as I'm concerned, you can damn well drop to the bottom and drown.
Bravo! Well done! I knew it was in you to speak from your heart. Took a little more coaxing than I imagined, but you came through with flying colors. Quite impressive, really.
Stop it,
Mr.
Sydney.
Wellborn, I demand you leave my house immediately if it wouldn't jeopardize Cynthia's health. I only ask that you refrain from doing anything that might upset her until you leave. Do I have your word on that?
Why, you do have a command of the English language, don't you?
Mr. Wellborn, do I have your word?
I do apologize to you two dear ladies for this uncomfortable inconvenience, and I do wish that I had been more charming this evening, but as we see, things have gotten out of hand. I personally...
Mr. Wellborn, I want an answer!
More irritating than having one's line stepped on by a witless amateur. I greatly appreciate you holding off till I'm finished.
Sydney, it's time we leave. You're upsetting Samantha. Please let me help you.
Unhand me, you bloody wench!
We're not doing Henry the Fourth, Sydney. Will everything be a done play with you?
Yes, life is nothing but a stage, and we're all but mere actors. The truest words ever spoken, in my humble opinion. But of course, there are those atrocious actors, those that stink up the stage, causing them that are worthy to vomit. If this sounds strangely familiar, Mr. Temple, you've guessed right.
I don't have to stand here and listen to these insults from this miserable drunk! I'm sorry, but you brought this upon yourself. I'm calling you a cab. Forgive me, Rosalind, but I was extremely mistaken to allow Sydney to...
Go on, you rotten bastard! Don't think for a second I won't speak with my daughter! Your days of polluting her mind are over! Go on, dial the cabbie, and I'll be back pounding on your door in the morning.
Check your cab, please. Cynthia?
Hang up the telephone.
Your father's decided to stay the night in a hotel. I mean, calling him a cab.
Hang up the phone, Ty.
You don't understand.
Stop it! Stop telling me I don't understand.
Do I need to call Dr. Brown?
You're not calling anyone.
What are you doing with my revolver?
I don't know. But I got you to do what I wanted.
Yes, it has. You see if I hung up the phone. Now, please lower the revolver.
I don't think I can.
Of course you can. Hey, let me help you.
I don't want your help!
You really don't want to do this. It's rather a messy business if it accidentally discharges. Why, a man could bleed to death in minutes. Trust me, you wouldn't want to carry that on your shoulders.
Papa,
Yes, it's me.
you're here.
Yes, I am. Would you mind lowering the revolver, darling? We don't want an untimely accident spoiling my first visit, do we? Someone bring her a blanket! She's exhausted and has a chill.
Shouldn't you ask her husband what ought to be done?
Hell no, he's made a mess of things already.
In spite of your opinion of me, we should take these matters up in the morning, Mr. Wellborn. You may stay the night, but let me make it perfectly clear. Once she is rested, you two bid her a warm farewell in the morning. You've proven my suspicions and are unfit to carry out any future relationships with her. And another thing, Mr. Wellborn, don't ever come between my wife and myself, for it could prove disastrous for you.
You startled me.
Forgive me, but I'm a light sleeper. The slightest noise stirs me.
I hope you don't mind my raiding your kitchen. Warm milk helps me to sleep.
That's perfectly all right. Are you not feeling well?
Just a little anxiety. Whose revolver is it?
Mine. I apologize for the scare earlier. I assure you Cynthia would not harm a fly.
Well, that's good to hear, but I'm curious. Was it loaded?
Yes, all my weapons are loaded. You never know when you may need one for self-defense.
Yes, of course. I might have been a dangerous burglar. Where's your pistol?
Here. Would you like to see it?
Yes, if you don't mind.
It's small, but it packs a wallop.
Impressive.
I don't meet many women who appreciate finely crafted firearms.
May I hold it?
Doesn't frighten you?
It's not my first time, Mr. Temple. Oh my.
How does it feel?
Have you ever shot anyone?
No, but be careful. It is loaded.
Would you?
If the circumstances meant protecting one's life, I'd say yes.
I don't believe I'm capable of shooting anyone. Under any circumstance.
Let's hope you're never put to the test. How's your milk?
Soothing. How is she?
Sleeping.
Has she ever acted this way before?
Gratefully, no.
It must be difficult on your marriage.
Yes, it is.
Don't you just hate not being able to sleep?
Yes. Especially on the night before court hearing. Here's your milk. Good night, Rosalind.
Mr. Temple,
Yes?
I don't like being alone. Did you not hear me?
Clearly, I'm afraid.
Will you stay with me while I finish my milk? I promise to behave.
Yes, just for a few minutes.
Thank you. Being alone has always terrified me.
If someone should see us, they might misconstrue what we're doing.
What are we doing?
It's quite obvious. It's late. You're scantily dressed, one incriminatingly alone.
It's innocent enough, don't you think?
Sydney might disagree.
Oh, don't worry about him. He's had enough whiskey to comatose a gorilla.
After you finish your milk, we bid each other good night. Are we agreed?
Let's shake on it, shall we?
Rosalind, may I ask you?
Call me Rosie.
All right, Rosie. May I ask you a question regarding Sydney?
I'm not at all. Fire away.
Will I find it difficult getting him to leave in the morning?
Truthfully, unpredictability should have been his middle name. There's something you need to know about him. He's mostly all bark and no bite, and accustomed only to stage blood. So you needn't worry about him dragging you into a bloody scuffle on the front lawn.
That's a relief.
It's my turn to ask a question.
Go right ahead.
You may think this rude of me. Does your wife know how many women you've recently slept with?
What kind of question is that?
Sydney mentioned it to me after hearing it from Cynthia.
Are you accusing me being unfaithful to my wife?
Strangely enough, yes.
After you're finished, please turn out the lights. Good night.
Don't go!
Here's an interesting thought for you. I find it difficult to understand why a fine-looking woman as yourself became entangled with the likes of Sydney. A porpoise and an alligator would be a better match, but we all choose our own hell, don't we?
You can kiss me if you like. I know you want to.
You are the most presumptuous woman I've ever met. What makes you think I want to kiss you?
I wasn't born yesterday, Mr. Temple. I know when a man wants to walk me behind the curtain.
This is preposterous.
Is it?
Don't.
I know you want to. Now shut up and kiss me.
Cynthia, let me explain. It's not one of my scene. I was awakened by hearing Rosalind warming milk in the kitchen, and then I came across her in the den, and then we joined in conversation about the unfortunate episode with your father. Then after, she broke into tears over his despicable behavior, and I was merely comforting her. That's all it was an innocent embrace.
Cynthia!
Do something, Sid! Don't just stand there!
Cynthia!
Stop saying her goddamn name and do something! She's trying to kill me!
Cynthia!
What's that about?
Your impeccable timing is legendary.
I apologize for interrupting, but not seeing you lie next to me caused me concern for your welfare. After all, I didn't want you strangling Mr. Temple in his sleep.
Can I fix you a drink?
It's after 3 o'clock in the morning, Sid. Don't you know when to quit?
Who's keeping time?
I want to make a reservation for a morning flight to New York with us on it.
I'm not ready to leave yet, and when I do, it won't be on any damn airplane.
What's the point in staying? Your daughter's mentally unstable. Your son's in hiding. And your son-in-law despises you. And you've already had a heart-to-heart with Samantha. So I ask you, what's left?
Are you sure you don't want me to mix you a drink?
Your charming distractions aren't working, Sid.
The purple nightgown becomes you. If you're not careful, it'll start a fashion craze in Manhattan.
Really, I don't want us to stay any longer. We can share a pleasant breakfast with whomever chooses to attend. Say our heartfelt goodbyes and point our noses eastward where we belong. I'd even settle for a sleeper car on the train.
What do you suppose became of Paul?
It's clear he wants nothing to do with you. Sid, please don't ignore me. This is not our world. It was a nice idea. But like most ill-fated productions, you need to know when it's time to close the curtain.
Do you suppose he was too drunk to drive?
Drunk or sober, he decided not to come. Now, what don't you understand? Please don't be difficult.
Rosalind, must you always be so rational? Where's the fun in it?
Seriously, you know I'm telling the truth.
Yes, but I wish things had been different. Do you want to hear something funny? In the garden, Samantha asked why I came back after all these years. When I asked if she was pleased to see me, she replied how that she's shy around strangers. What a thing to say to one's father.
Well, what do you expect for tardiness? A ticker tape parade?
A little understanding would be nice and a chance to give the whole truth.
What truth, Sid? Yours? After 20 years, people don't care about the whys and wherefores. They don't know you, Sid. Life isn't as conveniently scripted as most productions are. That's the difference between the stage and real life. You never know when to make your entrances and exits. And you definitely can never be sure of another's intentions. I truly wish life were as clearly defined. But unfortunately, there's no edited scripts available to live our life by.
Cynthia saw you having an affair with her husband.
Really? How was it? Was I enjoying myself?
Well, it was only in a dream, but I do admit I've seen how you look at him.
Well, don't tell me you believe your loopy daughter's dreams, Sid.
Do you find him attractive?
Well, don't be silly. It doesn't deserve an answer.
I frankly don't think he's very handsome, but women have been known to fall in love with absolute beasts.
I wouldn't know that, would I?
Oh,
But if I didn't know you better, I'd tell you to stick your gutter allegations where the sun never
a
shines.
simple no would suffice.
Absolutely not. I find him squeamishly arrogant and lacking sophistication altogether. There, are you satisfied?
Yes.
Sid, with or without you, I'm booking a flight to New York. And I'm tired. And I wish to get some rest. Are you coming to bed?
There's something not right about leaving a drink unfinished. It's kind of a metaphor on life, really, but I'll be up soon.
Be careful on the stairs. We don't want you tumbling to your death. Good night, dear.
Perhaps, if you're still awake, we can...
I love your optimism. But not now, Sid. Good night.
Good night, my sweet Rosalind. Well, hello. I was just on my way to...
Cindy, someone please call an ambulance. Your father's been shot. Please help me. Cindy, oh my goodness, Cindy. Oh, please hurry. Oh my God, who could have done this? Oh, Cindy, please breathe.
Hello, the hospital, please, please hurry.
Did you see anyone?
No one.
Did you hear anything?
Hello, I need an ambulance.
will be arriving shortly and I wanted to say goodbye.
Yes, of course. Do you have time for a cup of coffee?
Yes, I believe I do. I thought I'd get an early start for the train station. The cabbie said he'd honk when he arrives.
Great.
Just black will be fine. It took forever getting my suitcase packed. I must have refolded each piece of clothing several times. I'm slightly obsessive about things, which Sydney always... I'm sorry. It's difficult talking about things without including him somehow. With him gone, I realized how much he was a part of my life.
I regret not being able to get to know him. While in the garden, he made me feel comfortable talking with him.
He really was a splendid man. I know you would have liked him. He truly wanted to get to know each one of you.
What now?
Well, the police have a sufficient number of pictures and evidence, and the mortuary has prepared his body for passage. In fact, that's the reason I'm leaving so early for the train station. I want to be there when they bring him on board.
I would like to attend the funeral, but it would be impossible for me right now. I hope you understand.
Don't trouble yourself. Your father doesn't need you standing in the wings to know you care. Besides, they'll probably have to cancel several Broadway shows with the number of actors who will be there. The best damn standing ovation your father's ever had, and he won't even be able to see it. On second thought, perhaps he will.
I hope so.
Oh, he definitely had his idiosyncrasies. But his circle of friends loved each and every one of them.
What time is your train leaving?
1 o'clock.
Do you think my husband murdered your fiancée?
I know. I realize there were harsh feelings between them, but no. I certainly refuse to believe that your husband could do such a terrible thing.
I don't. Does this shock you?
But he was in your bedroom, wasn't he? I mean, at the time of the shooting?
Yes, he was sleeping.
Well, there we are. He couldn't have been in two places at the same time. He's obviously innocent.
He keeps his revolver in the bottom drawer next to our bed. It is unlikely anyone took it while we were sleeping, for I'm a light sleeper. So whoever did so at an earlier time.
But you were in the den speaking with your father a short while before he was shot. The killer had a window of opportunity then to grab the revolver, don't you think?
Yes, I suppose so.
They would have had to have taken it before Tyrone carried you upstairs, or while you were in the den with Sydney.
Well, the police didn't find any fingerprints on it, did they?
No. I saw it first lying in the hallway, and I made certain that no one touched it until the police arrived. So whoever killed him wiped it clean or wore gloves.
You were the last one to see him, weren't you?
Yes, I was. We talked for a short while after you went upstairs.
It seems strange that you didn't see or hear anything in the house at that time.
Please tell me you're not suggesting I killed him.
Unfortunately, we're all suspects, aren't we?
Well, I can't speak for everyone, but the police are satisfied with my innocence, so why else would they allow me to return to New York?
Perhaps the police know something we don't know.
I believe Cynthia's only trying to put pieces together.
Is that what you're doing? Are you putting the pieces of the puzzle together? And what sort of picture does your puzzle reveal?
Listen, we're all confused. Whoever killed him was careful not to leave any clues behind. But it certainly couldn't have been anyone in this room.
It's the cabbie.
Rosalind, I hope you won't mind my contacting you to find out how things went with the funeral.
Of course not. I look forward to hearing from you. Life has a strange way of bonding people together, doesn't it?
Are you sorry you came?
What sort of question is that to ask?
No, it's perfectly all right. Frankly, I wish we had never come to Coeur d'Alene. But your father insisted, and that was that. Had I known how it was to play out, I had thrown a fit at least. But I haven't that luxury now. You see, I'm a realist. There's no sense in kicking and screaming against the inevitable. For what will be, will be. I shall cherish the memory of your father and never regret one moment of our time together. I'm richer for knowing him and the joy that he brought me will carry me through any sorrow that may come my way. Does that answer your question?
Yes. If you're not careful, you'll be late for your train.
Had things been different, it might have been nice getting to know you.
Let me walk you out.
That won't be necessary. I absolutely hate goodbyes, really. I've been such a big girl up to this point. I don't want to embarrass myself by turning into a sobbing schoolgirl. We'll say our farewells here, if you don't mind.
It's nice to think about what could have been. Have a safe trip. I'm sorry she can't come to the phone right now. What's this about? He said what? Yes, I will tell her. No, we're all right. Thank you very much. Yes, I will make sure that she gets the message. Can I get you anything?
Yes. A glass of juice.
Orange, apple, or cranberry?
Apple. And could you put a slice of lemon in it? It helps to soothe my sore throat.
I wasn't aware that your throat was sore.
Oh my. What a shock to learn you don't know everything.
You're in luck.
Thank God it's out. Don't crown her.
Oh, really, I'm okay. It was just a stupid lemon wedge getting caught in my throat, but really, I'm okay.
You frightened the hell out of us. Are you sure you're all right?
Oh, I've never seen anyone so blue.
Can I get you something?
No, really, I'm okay.
Can I get you a drink?
No!
I'm sorry. I thought it would help your throat.
I didn't mean to scream. It's just that the lemon wedge is out now and I'm feeling fine.
She's not nearly as blue.
I'm sorry for ruining our party.
There's nothing to apologize about.
It's just that when I lifted my glass to take a sip, I must have inhaled at the same time, and the moment I must have.
Cynthia?
Oh my God.
Cynthia?
Oh my God, I had the strangest dream. It was so bizarre.
About what?
Well, Papa was shot by Paul, and I was poisoned by Samantha, and then I shot Ty and Rosalind, and... Oh my God, you strangled me, Ty.
I feel left out. I'm the only one who didn't get murdered.
Cynthia, it's nothing but a bizarre nightmare and nothing more. Don't take it seriously. Look at your father and Rosalind. They're alive, aren't they? We've heard plenty of stories about people in great peril having their lives flash before their eyes. And so this is nothing more. Here, let me help you to our room so you can rest.
No, Papa.
Yes?
What were we talking about before I started choking?
We asked if you wanted to visit us in New York.
What time is it treating?
This afternoon at 1 o'clock. Isn't that so, Rosalind?
Yes, and our cab will be arriving shortly.
Is your invitation still
But
open?
of course.
I want to go with you.
That's wonderful, but shouldn't you speak with Tyrone
I don't
first?
need anybody's permission to board a train.
What? You can't make these hasty decisions without discussing with me
Forget
first.
it, Ty. My mind's made up. I think I'll go start packing.
Oh, the hell you are.
Rosalind, will you come with me to help me choose what to wear on my first trip to New York?
Yes, of course. I love your spontaneity.
And you know something? I feel like running with the bulls.
Bulls? Bulls?
Bulls?
Yes, I believe she said the bulls.
Cynthia Lynn, Wellborn Temple.
Tyrone Temple.
Sydney Wellborn.
Your present requested this evening is formal, a top hat, a white tie, and tails. Nothing now could take the wind out of my sails. Because I'm invited to step out this evening with top hat, white tie, and tails. Oh, I'm putting on my top hat.